Hello and welcome to the Smite Draft League. We've got more Challenger action to bring you today. I am Anthony Malum and I have with me Joywolffe. How you doing today?
I am feeling great. I am excited for some Challenger action, so let's get into it.
And today we have Harbingers versus the Dropkick Kings. A little wrestling in there. Dropkick Kings is a team I have not actually gotten to cast yet myself, so I'm so excited to see some new players grace my eyes today.
Yeah, I believe I watched Dropkick Kings earlier on in the season. An exciting set and some familiar names from them, so excited to see how they will be playing tonight.
And so I did just talk about how I haven't seen the Dropkick Kings, but something I'm excited to see from Harbingers is they've had one of the more consistent teams throughout this season in comparison to a lot of other teams. There's been very few, if any, transactions that I can think of for Harbingers, and it's been a pretty solid unit. And they've had a plan all year. Everything has just clicked consistently. So that's so exciting to see a team and show that you can make that work with people that you actually drafted and have been working with.
Absolutely. Continuity is a huge advantage for these teams. Playing with the same players mean that you don't have to get used to different play styles, different shot calling and whatnot. It is very beneficial if you are able to stick with a consistent team throughout the season. So that will be a huge boon.
Yeah, that's always tough. So getting more into the picks and bans and talking about specific players, I have always been a big ADC fanboy, but I'm actually really interested in seeing the mid matchup this game because I have seen Sean really go off consistently, and I'm curious if he can keep it up, if there might be a different approach, if we start to see some characters get picked up. He hasn't been necessarily the playmaker, but that's kind of what I've liked. He's just been a consistent mid for them. They do consistently do a swap between Sean and Gabba, but Sean has been a really good. It's like that meme of Kobe and Shaq, you know.
I'm not a basketball guy. You'll have to explain that one. But what you don't have to explain is the emoji pick. I absolutely love this pick. Those that know my history with Yemoja, God is absolutely incredible in team fights. Lots of utility, and those big River Rebuke ultimates can be oh so beautiful to watch, oh so fun to cast. I'm excited to see Yemoja coming out with the first pick.
And we see a Lancelot and a Daji come out. We've seen Akamaru on the Daji quite a bit, so part of me wonders if that was more taking it away or if that actually works into the team comp here for Dropkick Kings.
Yeah, one thing that I don't necessarily like is picking the two assassins this early on, like maybe saving one for the second round. Say you pick the Daji in the first pick slot. That way, in the second phase of bans, the enemy team could be trying to ban out.
I see what you're saying.
Ban out for the other role. But then again, Lancelot is sometimes a highly contested pick, so wanting to pick that early, definitely understand where they're coming from there.
And we see the Vulcan come out. That is a consistent theme across all divisions this season for the SDL and a bit of the SPL as well, is that Vulcan has been a highly sought after mid laner and has the ability to put a team on his back in terms of damage and in terms of objective secure.
Yeah, speaking of sought after, these first three picks from both teams are extremely powerful players in any match. Looking across the board, Lancelot, Daji, Vulcan, definitely a first three that some would almost blind pick. And same thing for Yemoja, Cernanos, and Guan Yu. You could almost blind pick that first three as well. So a lot of heavy hitters coming out early. Just goes to show, even with bans, how many strong gods there are in Smite currently.
Yeah, that is definitely a theme of Smite, is that you can't ban everything, especially if you try to mix and match. If you're banning for meta, if you're banning for certain team compositions, or if you're target banning. It's so hard to make real value out of those 5 bans that you get, and just kind of hoping that the other team sets you up by banning things that save you space too. So it's a real challenge for these teams.
Yeah, and that's why I love watching the picks and bans, because sometimes games are won strictly by the team comps, and you really have to be 10,000 IQ to navigate a picks and ban phase. It's so much more difficult than you would think watching from the outside.
Ooh, I was just gonna say, first I was gonna have you walk me through the Cabrakan, but seeing this Scylla get hovered, that has been a go-to for Sean and the Harbingers. They love using that Scylla for the objective secure, the just really having the threat if I'm a monster. I'm curious if that's gonna get locked in. What I'm more curious about is you talked about 10,000 IQ. So take me through picking up the Cabra Smash pick and how you see that working into this game.
I absolutely love the Cabrakan. It putting up the Cabrakan walls, just allowing Vulcan to have a almost guaranteed direct hit off the Earthshaker, and also Vulcan kind of comboing well into that dodgy. It looks like they're really playing to just set up this Vulcan to go huge in team fights. So, as you said, the mid lane will definitely be a lane to watch throughout this match.
And with that, we see my favorite character, Xbalanque, come out as the final pick. And we're going to leave you here in the picks and the bans, and we will see you in game number 1 between the Harbingers and the Dropkick Kings. Which meta team composition will be the one that comes out on top? Harbingers or the Dropkick Kings? I'm Anthony Malum. He is still Joywolffe, and let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. The Harbingers versus the Dropkick Kings. Game 1. Minions are spawning. It's action time.
So I'm curious, we didn't get to talk about the Kernanos and the X-Ball. It's kind of becoming a really common matchup, especially in our league with the heavy reliance on the X-Ball. Who do you have coming out on top? Is it going to be a player difference that makes it, or will it be a character difference?
I definitely think there's a skill difference, knowing these two ADCs. And that's the thing, it could go either way. But I definitely would put it up to more skill, as Harbingers are taking the level 2 lead early, just out clearing by a little bit.
Yeah, that's become the story of dual lane. It's always a different one every year. One of the more dynamic lanes this year, it has been the level 2 advantage can make the world of a difference, especially if you can actually use that advantage to get a kill. But this time, despite the push advantage, there was no kill follow-up, so we might see it come out a bit later here. I will say, I don't know why I was expecting this, but I was kind of expecting to see the Guan Yu be a little bit more aggressive early on the Lancelot. I feel like that's quite an advantage in that lane for the Guan Yu, wouldn't you say?
I think so, but given the Toe Taker build, he is currently building for damage, so definitely scary if you're Gear Chief. You know, you step one wrong way and you could lose your life really easily to that Lancelot.
It looked close there for a second in the mid lane, but ultimately not close enough. And now we got our normal Scepter fight that is going to go the way of... Who got the Scepter? I can hardly even see it.
I think CACTUSARMS. It doesn't look like anyone grabbed it. It's still sitting over there.
Yeah, it
so
is still sitting. That's
tell.
why I was like, where is it? So
you
interesting
fight so
exchange
hard
there.
and then you just leave it behind. You know, I don't want the advantage. I'll beat you without it. That's what these teams are saying.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Now.
I don't need no stinking Scepter.
Yeah, but definitely would like to see which team was able to secure that. Lanes are about even, but CACTUSARMS is pretty poked out right now.
Yeah, very tame start. We've seen a lot of, especially in Challenger, a lot of early First Bloods, a lot of early aggression. I mean, Gear Chief is kind of low, but that's really the only significant health bar in the entire map right now. So much more relaxed start. Toe Taker trying to make difference in what I just said. Gear Chief's low. Don't do it. You don't want me to say it. Gets underneath the tower. Going to be able to back. Will Toe look for a play, though? Probably can't. Gear Chief going to get out just barely alive.
That pathing made me so nervous. I wouldn't have thought he would. Gear Chief would have been able to make it out of that. He was already so low and low on mana. Just the gutsto from Gear Chief to be able to path so aggressively but still make it out. Credit to him.
That's one of the tougher things in Smite. It happens to me a lot whenever I played mid. Sometimes when you have to take that awkward path and you don't even think about it, and you're walking alongside the wall at a quarter health, and all of a sudden you're at 10 health. It's always a rough experience, and it makes you really question things and makes you question your game sense at times.
Yeah, that's why I don't play mid. I need my protections and mitigations to correct
as
my
much
bad
health
positioning.
as you can handle, right?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. NeptuneSpartan, though, getting out to level 5 early, kind of what you'd expect from a Shibalanke. His augmented autos really help him clear, but CACTUSARMS, it looked like he might have been aggressing, but not really.
Kind of surprised we're not seeing our normal Kabrakan, no brain, run at you, slam my walls on you. Health bar advantage in solo, though, all of a sudden very much in the favor of Gear Chief, so that will buy some time for Gear Chief to secure this totem. I'm still surprised at overall how calm this has been. The Earthshaker comes out to clean up some minions and maybe some difference in positioning, but Akamaru wanted the kill on the Pest, will not find it, though. Tough luck for the Hoombots.
Not all was lost, though. Akamaru was able to burn the beads off of Pastanews. That is... Vulcan, not one of the most safe gods in Smite, despite the backfire. Not able to cover a huge amount of ground, so burning those beads could be absolutely huge into getting a pick on the Vulcan.
Yeah, that's kind of the key, and especially considering you can't do the combination of beads and Aegis, so you got to really pick your spot to use that purification beads. I mean, it obviously doesn't matter as much early on, but just keeping it in mind later in the game. Akamaru looking for the gank into the dual lane. Cactus is the one with the lowest HP, so he is the target, falling quickly. Akamaru picks up the first blood for Harbingers, and that's going to be all they can get, as Neptune did get away with plenty of time. So first blood for Harbingers and a sacrifice coming out of Dropkick Kings.
Yeah, a few ults expended there, so a little bit of resources, ultimate cooldowns are a little bit longer earlier on, so I'm interested to see if Dropkick Kings might look towards that duo lane to perhaps press a bit of advantage. But CACTUSARMS and NeptuneSpartan also dropped their ult, and it looks like PFShawn just did as well. So it'll have to be LDGFish to go over and make an impact with their ultimate.
You know, that's been a big story so far from Harbingers. We see a lot of it. A team that comes to mind is Dark Omen, Life of the After Party, and their emphasis on map control in the Premier League. Harbingers has definitely been a team that I've seen really prioritize getting a big handle of the map and knowing what's going on at all times across it. And Akamaru has been really the head of the operation there, a lot of times getting ahead and really being able to free roam in the jungle and control when they initiate, control which team fights they take, and which they don't. Gear Chief, looking for an invade on the blue buff, is going to run into the Daji, but just enough poke to get the Daji to back off. Don't think they're going to commit for a fight. I'd be surprised to see it. Does not look like they are, but yeah, just overall, I think Akamaru could be the spearhead this game for Harbingers if they look to continue the story of map control going forward.
Macro play is so important in Smite as ZTan is getting run at, but nothing comes out of it.
Yeah, might have been an early ult from the X-Ball. Might have just thought that Daji was just ever so slightly closer, which would have made the difference there. So basically an X-Ball ult for nothing, but at least now ZTan knows in the back of his head the Daji's around, which should help Neptune for the next couple waves.
Yeah, and as you were saying about macro play, as Toe Taker doesn't want me to speak, he wants action, he wants blood.
That was close. Already down low, Akamaru here talking about that map rotation skill. Akamaru is all about that life, here to protect Gear Chief. Flippin' Ninjas trying to join the party and do plenty of flips. Toad, oh no, Toad's gonna be caught in the waves. Big damage comes out. Gonna use that ultimate to get away though. Guan Yu has a horse too, chasing him down. Will be enough for the kill. He finds it. 2 kills now for Harbinger, and Gear Chief gets the kill and gets to get out, but hang on, everybody already left, and he's backing Blink from LDG. Gonna be enough for the KILL. Back in the mid lane. PFShawn gets I'm a Monstered by Sean. We talked about it in Picks and Bans. Sean does not miss those I'm a Monsters on that Scylla, and that's a death for the Vulcan in the mid lane.
This is gonna give Sean just a little bit of time to help catch up in the stacks that he was behind PFShawn. What a huge I'm a Monster. You saw him pop it, and you could almost tell immediately that he was hitting it. It was just so picture perfect. As the ADCs are doing their thing, boxing it up.
Polymorph turns into a little piggy, but he's gonna get to go to the market for now, staying alive and healthy. You know, an X-Ball and a Cernanos is a very interesting matchup. They kind of feel like you're throwing paint at an empty canvas and not necessarily making art the whole time. The way their kits go against each other, it feels like it could be a very passive dual lane, which kind of goes against a lot of what we've seen this entire season, really.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of aggression, and honestly, only 4 kills in 9.5 minutes. That's pretty slow for the Challenger division. So
yeah,
it's interesting to see these teams really try and play that slow macro style, which, you know, to re-bring up that point that you mentioned earlier. Some have argued that Smite is just a PvE game with people trying to stop you. You know, you want to take the fire giant, but the enemy team stops you. You win the game by killing the PvE enemy type. And
not enough for the kill though. I'm a Monster was out. I thought they were both dead, but they might be after all. Akamaru picks up the kill on the PFShawn. CACTUSARMS uses the ultimate, and now Akamaru's the one who falls to LDG. Guan Yu's here on his horse and gets a stun on the Cactus. Is going to follow up with the kill. It's a bloodbath in the mid lane. First 2 kills for Dropkick Kings come out with aggression, or pardon me, the 1 kill. Is that going to be it for now? I thought they'd commit way more. They had a great position for that fight, but no hard commit from Dropkick. They're going to fall back and let Harbingers kind of hang out. Probably, I guess, because of the Trebuchet, want to just reset.
And as I commend these teams for playing it slow, looking towards the late game with the farm play, they just decide to all-out brawl in mid lane. Typical Smite players,
Yeah, that's how it is.
but yeah, not a whole lot committed, but still an interesting little scrap to see. This duo lane has been so quiet. It's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
Just both players going in similar builds, both players with only 1 assist. This has been super quiet, and I'm waiting to see if anything will end up busting this lane open, or both players will just farm up to 20 like your standard ADC wants to, and then start rotating to team fights, or somebody's gonna make a huge play to bust this lane open.
And that's where we could really see them make the difference, right? When you do actually have a game where you get to farm and kind of just go on autopilot, just type in the chat if they're missing and otherwise be silent in the dual lane. That's when they can be the most dangerous overall. So like you said, it really depends on when things get broken open. Gearchief did not want to let Toe back there in the soul lane. Just, traditional soul lane things. They don't like each other, bullying each other around. We do see some slight action in the dual lane. Daji and Akamaru have run into each other, but no fight yet. Cactus is here too, though. But that monkey just has so many escapes, they cannot even attempt to commit for that kill, or he just jump away. So, like you said, just passive, passive, passive. Everybody's looking for the correct moment. Could this be the moment, though, in mid? Aku's going deep. There's the waves. On to Pest. Fear no evil. Daji up into her tower, looking over the fight. No kills quite yet. I'm a monster. Hits, though. It always hits, doesn't it? LDG does get the kill, though, onto Akamaru. Ami Monster comes down on the Cactus, does not do quite a bit of damage, as you might think. And shocker to nobody, everybody goes their separate ways. The 1 kill was enough for everybody.
I'm a Monster has been hitting so hard the entire game. PFShawn, it seems like every time we see him hit it, pop the ult, he's hitting at least someone, getting a couple kills off the back of that ultimate, getting his resets, as Gearchief under duress in the duo lane, or solo lane rather. He will get out though. Another thing worth mentioning.
Will he though? Here's the ultimate, under tower, thought he was safe. The heal will not be enough this time. To your credit, it kind of was the duo lane. The duo of LDG and Toe Taker get the kill onto Gearchief.
See, just as we called it, it's a duo lane now. Everyone's got to change their terminology. The short lane is now the duo lane. Let's make it happen. But
yep, exactly.
Unfortunate for Gearchief though, just not able to get his back off in time. One of the things I've been really impressed though with is these Rivers Rebuke from Flippin' Ninjas. Just every single time they've been absolutely picture perfect. Makes my Yamoja heart happy, just doing exactly what you want from your Yamoja, and he's even on the same level as Akamaru, so he's really having an impact this game, even as a support.
Fear no evil onto CACTUSARMS. No kill quite yet. They're really committing for it, though. I'm a monster. No good for once, to my shock. Akamaru gets a kill onto CACTUSARMS, and they're going to take the red buff with them. Will they? They do get it. Just evading that backfire. Flippin' Ninjas is kind of lagging behind. Here's a Daji ultimate. Can he juke it? Oh, surprise. He has beads. He's completely safe.
I feel like taking beads as a support is one of the worst feelings in the game, but against a god like Daji or an Ares, where if you don't have CC immunity, you are extremely disrupted, I can definitely see taking beads. So good call out of Flippin' Ninjas, knowing that beads are warranted on a support in this matchup and being willing to make that decision.
Yeah, I think that's one of the tougher choices to make. When you see an Ares, though, when you see a Daji, there's just so many different scenarios where it's almost more valuable to just stay alive as opposed to free dying just so you can pick up that shell early. Because, I mean, how many times have we seen a dual lane, and not even necessarily in the STL, but just you see a dual lane go against an Ares, and the support doesn't take purification beads first. They take shell, or back in the day, they take something like a heavenly. So level 1, you're already getting forced out by the chains and you're low because you have nothing you can do to counteract it. Level 5, instant air result, because what's the worst case? You get the support in and maybe get the first blood. So pretty good call there from Flippin' Ninjas.
Yeah, you can stop calling me out for not taking beads now. We get the point. But about a 2k gold lead for the Harbingers, a little bit under. The lead has been pretty stagnant for the past 5 or so minutes. You know, a little bit of up and down, but pretty consistent as CACTUSARMS is wrapping behind.
Ooh, might have gotten caught in a trap. Fear no evil comes out. Still plenty healthy, though. It is a Cabrakan. Wall comes out. He wanted to make sure he hung out for a little while longer, falling lower and lower and lower. Earthshaker, though, does some decent damage on the Gear Chief and Akamaru, but not enough to stop them from killing CACTUSARMS. Sean pokes out Pest in the mid lane. Keep him away. Gotta play it safe. Everybody's still hanging out, but a good pickup there by Harbingers onto CACTUSARMS.
I was really wondering if LDGFish would be able to get in there and pick up some of these kills damaged by Pest News, but they're looking at the Pyro right now. Akamaru is so low.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Blink comes out from Daji. I'm a monster. Was not able to get the secure. Dropkick does get the Pyro. Nothing further than that. Sean, though, blinks in. Makes an aggressive play. Instantly pays for it. Toe gets the kill onto Sean. Now everybody's getting low for Harbingers. They gotta get out of there and quickly. Yamoja ult comes out, but it's not enough to help anybody. It's a triple kill for Toe Taker. After a blink in from Sean, Dropkick Kings are back in this game.
What a huge swing, and it looks like Neptune
gets
the solo! Oh
this
my
game
goodness.
went from so passive, borderline boring, to now I feel like I just drank 7 Red Bulls and I'm nooblet on the camera.
Oh my goodness, Dropkick Kings have absolutely swung the entire momentum of this game. Down about 2,000 gold to now being about up by 1,500. Oh my goodness, just a complete overstay by the Harbingers. They got the they had the Pyromancer stolen away. I think they should have just realized how low they were and dropped the objective, but they refused to give it up, had it stolen away, and then lose the team fight after. Oh my god, Neptune gets a solo, and then they give up a Gold Fury. There was no one there to contest. Just, oh my goodness, what a fight from Dropkick Kings. Way to pick your moment.
We have hit the reset button on this game and really the vibes of this game, and it's a completely new one from here on out. Nothing we've seen really matters as much anymore. Level leads are getting closer and closer. The only real significant one is in the jungle, and we saw how it worked the last time. It was in the favor of the Dropkick Kings, who were kind of feeling like they were on the back burner. So everything's back even. Entirely new game here. But the momentum is in the court of Dropkick Kings, and they're looking to follow it up. Sean might be the victim, has to use Purification Beads. Earthshaker comes out, Akamaru goes into the back and picks up a kill onto the Daji. Looking for more, but can't quite find it yet. Gets stunned out in mid and cannot commit onto the Vulcan, even though Flippin' Ninjas was here ready to help. So a 1-kill pickup. Some decent gold for Akamaru, though.
Yeah, definitely a benefit, especially given that he was down a few levels on the Daji. Gives him a little bit of time to catch up with LDGFish. I was about to say before that fight broke out that Dropkick Kings were swinging back the momentum in their favor at such an opportune time, given that now is about the time teams might start considering a Fire Giant. But as I say that, the gold lead went from about 1,500 to only about less than 500, so I don't think the Fire Giant will be on anyone's menu anytime soon.
Yeah, like you said, they almost had their opportunity to do it, but the fight they committed to was a little bit too much to go deep for anything more than the Gold Fury. Now back, though, to some action for the time being until interrupted by a rude ultimate from Gear Chief, really. I mean, I wanted to call a fight there, not your pony ride to the solo lane. But regardless, he is safe on that Guan Yu, and no fight will break out quite yet until LDG sees how low Sean was hanging out in the mid lane. You're hanging out around a Daji. Don't you know how far that teleport can go? The big kill there for the Daji onto the Scylla. Back to the solo lane. Cactus around half, but with the damage from Flippin' and Gear, not quite enough to commit to a fight. Akamaro's here now, so they're going to look for a blue invade. Not sure if it's going to be contested. It's already been picked up at this point. They're going to turn their attention to the XP camp and get what they can get at this point.
Staji almost being at level 20 is just kind of showing how much LDGFish is doing. And with his build, his Hydra Lament proc auto attack cancels, especially working in with that one, is going to be for huge damage. So not at all surprised that he's just able to one-shot PFShawn practically. Just huge amounts of damage coming out from that Daji in a blink of a second. LDGFish is doing work.
The only thing I'm finding kind of confusing and interesting to see this game is it almost still feels like we're an early game. We're at 21 minutes. People are starting to hit level 20. Matter of fact, Neptune has been there for longer than LDG, but it kind of feels like everybody's still in the middle of their laning phase. We haven't seen big team groups and rotations around the map yet. We might start to see that, but just very interesting that it's happening at 22 minutes when sometimes we can see it happen as early as 15 minutes.
Yeah, these teams have definitely decided to just take a slow pace to this game. Just really wanting to farm it up and get the most out of every little minion that they can, as Dropkick Kings look to be taking another Pyromancer.
And they get it for free. Gear Chief ulted in, but it was a little bit late. LDG is at half health, though. Had to get up into that ultimate to try to avoid any further damage. Sean could not commit for that exact reason. Let's see how much this fight is contested. There's the Emoji ultimate. There's the Fear No Evil from Akamaru. Finds a lot of damage onto Neptune, but they cannot commit for the kill. They're cut off by CACTUSARMS. Cactus might be the sacrificial lamb here for Dropkick to get away. Sean gets the kill. Ultimately, the Shibalanke ultimate comes out, but no aggression from Dropkick. Toe Taker has to use the purification beads to get out. Not too much lost. Pyromancer gained, but Harbingers does get the kill onto Cactus.
Yeah, and unfortunately in that situation, if you are CACTUSARMS, you just gotta be okay with that one. I mean, playing from the support, you're already behind. You just gotta understand that, hey, sometimes my life is worth the objective and, you know, gotta give it up. So, not the worst if you're the Dropkick Kings. Sometimes, you know, sacrificing your support for the objective is gonna be the worthy call. As Toe Taker wraps around.
Toe Taker's looking to make a play here. Only can find Gear Chief, who is quite tanky right now. I can already hear Fish drooling about the Fabulous hoops on the Guan Yu, but he's going to survive. And again, no commitment here. I thought maybe we might see Harbingers go for that tier 2 tower, but they didn't fully commit. Then I thought we might see Dropkick collapse onto Harbingers following Toe Taker, but he only found Gear Chief. So we're kind of just back to not a Fire Giant dance, but a mid lane dance here over the tier 2. Eventually, Harbingers does be the first to back. So we'll see if Dropkick tries to make a play off this.
Yeah, Dropkick is getting a lot of their starter items finished up. You see them on Toe Taker and NeptuneSpartan. Looks like we've got a little bit of a pause here, so we'll come back to you once that's resolved, and we'll see you guys shortly.
We are back after we were oh so rudely interrupted from hearing Joy's previous point from the pause, and we're back into action, but we might not get to hear that point quite yet. No, we will. I thought Toe Taker was going to try to solo the support. You never know what's going to happen in these challenger games, but go ahead, Joy.
Yeah, just well, something else we were talking about during the break. You know, these challenger games, you expect them to be so scrappy, so brawly, but these two teams going at it have been oh so tactical. Two true technicians going at it. It's just refreshing to see. You expect this from at such a higher level of play, but this game is practically dead even at 25 minutes in. It's really just impressive to see how well these teams are performing together, playing against one another. Nice little riptide there from Flippin' Ninjas.
You know, there's something like watching your favorite character be piloted well and getting to see, different plays come out that you kind of hit home. That's always one of my favorite feelings. I have not gotten to see too many of mine get played because a lot of them kind of suck, but that's besides the point. We're at 25 minutes and we've seen a few pyromancers. We've yet to see even a commit to a fire giant. Does that surprise you?
Given the pace of these teams, no. But in a normal challenger game, I would say there's definitely been at least one fire giant pull by this point, and if not, a fire giant has already fallen, is around the waist of one of these teams. But like I was saying earlier, they're starting to get their starter items upgraded as LDGFish picks up Shawn.
That's a big kill for the future of this fight. Fear No Evil comes out, but Purification beats and the teleport. We're enough to get LDG away. Now, the collapse goes on to Toe, though. Takes a lot of damage, gets away with the ultimate. Earthshaker hits huge, and NeptuneSpartan gets the follow-up on the Flippin' Ninjas. And that'll be enough for everybody to go their separate ways. They do not want to take that fight any further. There's too much blood on the hands of Harbingers. And Dropkick Kings might be able to take the first fire giant. We'll see if they commit to it.
PFShawn is down. That's the major secure out of the Harbingers. And the only ultimates that are up are from Flippin' Ninjas and PFShawn, who are watching the game from the grayscale. So, unfortunately, no ultimates available. Holy
wow!
Just absolutely chunked.
So much damage there onto the Daji. Now it's going on to Cactus. ZTan is in these fights out of nowhere, and the damage is following, just blowing everybody up. Neptune gets picked off after going in for the kill onto Gear, and ZTan might change the course of this fight, but he has to be able to get in there.
Shawn's back.
Shawn is here with speed. He kind of flew in there like Sonic, picked up a lack of damage. Earthshaker, though, almost found 3 members, finds 2, it drops him to half. More of a get off my lawn than anything else, though.
I like that. I just realized it looking at the Harbingers comp, but they have a Guan Yu and Yamoja. The amount of flowers I'm seeing from the Flame-Blessed hoops popping up have been absolutely just so many. The amount of healing coming out from the Harbingers is insane, and we do see some anti-heal coming out from the Dropkick Kings, though. Divine Ruin, Shadow Steel Shuriken, so they are doing their due diligence, but I wonder if it'll be enough, as River Rebukes is out.
I'm a monster secures the Pyromancer, so a full commit for the Pyro there from Harbingers, using 2 ultimates to make sure that they're able to get it. So the next obvious question is what comes after you've committed 2 ultimates, because now you're in a bit of a tough spot to contest for pretty much anything else, even just a team fight.
If I'm Dropkick Kings, that's some of the biggest team fight ultimates on the Harbingers. I am running to that fire giant and I want to start pulling it. I want a team fight like right this second. PFShawn isn't able to secure the fire giant if it drops low enough, and Pest would be able to with his Earthshaker. And Flippin' Ninjas being unable to bring up the walls and zone people off the fire giant. Those are some of the best tools you have in a fire giant fight. I would love to see the Dropkick King start pulling this FG right here, right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. That would have been the opportune time to, even if you can't commit to fully taking it, pick the fight. Maybe they're just trying to wait for EFG to spawn at this point. But you got to try to make something happen when you know those two ultimates are down. They did have vision. They know both of them were down. But by this point, Sean's is back up. Flippin' Ninjas is halfway there. So kind of not really a misplay. I wouldn't go that far, but probably a missed opportunity for the Kings.
And the thing is, at this point in the game, it is so difficult to make that sort of call. It feels like one big team fight at this point could really just throw the game if you end up on the losing side. Both teams do have some towers and phoenixes to stand guard of the Titan, but after being so even for such a long time, it is such a mental blow to go from almost near even to having to defend your Titan.
A slight EFG dance has now commenced. We hit 30 minutes, and these teams look more ready to go than they have in quite a while, at least looking to see who's going to make the first move. I expect it might be Harbingers who tries to make the first move. They have a bit of an advantage in terms of the ultimates and what they can do, especially with the Emoja ult. Akamaru also does have Magi's Blessing, so he can get in and get aggressive and not necessarily die instantly, especially if he uses the blink to follow up. So it could be a good engage here from Harbingers. On the flip side, though, Dropkick has all the tools you need for a team that's engaged on you between the Xbalanque ult, the Daji ult, and the Kabrakan. And here's our first fight. It's on the other side of the wall by Pyro. Nobody's fallen low yet. Earthshaker, though, just absolutely obliterated ZTan. Dashi up into her ultimate. Goodbye, Sean. That's 2 down for Harbingers. Dropkick looks like they are going to be able to take anything they want from this. Akamaru, though, blinks in, wants blood for his fallen teammates. Can't quite find it, though. They got to retreat. Almost got 2 members. Now Gear Chief and Flippin are trying to do anything they can to set up Akamaru for a kill here. Toe Taker almost went too far, had to use the purification beads, and the tower almost took him out. But this might be a fire giant for Dropkick if they can disengage quick enough.
This is such a tricky spot. Toe Taker's low. CACTUSARMS low on mana. NeptuneSpartan low on mana. Gear Chief is back and he's ready to go.
Gear Chief goes into the back and finds Toe Taker. Toe Taker was already low from the last fight, but Gear Chief is getting return damage and quickly enough to send him to the grave. He's gone, but everybody's so low now on the Kings, they can't commit to the Fire Giant. So a very worthy death there from Gear Chief. It was enough to make everybody back.
Yeah, well played by Gear Chief to just stall out enough. I don't think there's any world where Flippin' Ninjas and Akamaru are able to take the Fire Giant, but the cavalry is coming.
ZTan's here, Sean's here, I'm a Monster is up. Dropkick's on the way, but will they get there in time? Toe Taker's on the horse, getting there kind of quick. It's down to a quarter. I'm a Monster was not good. Harbingers does get the Fire Giant, though, but what's going to be the cost? After the lack of secure, Flippin' Ninjas got pulled in, is gonna die. So 3 members will have the Fire Giant. The benefit is it's the 3 members you want to have it.
Just what a play from the Harbingers to realize that the Dropkick Kings wouldn't be able to contest in time. Really scary there when the I'm a Monster came out so early, but still able to pick up the EFG, but so far, Dropkick Kings have been able to press the advantage. We'll see what happens when Harbingers regroup, and that EFG is nothing to mess with. So ZTan, Sean, and Akamaru will be absolutely swinging. I'm interested to see what happens in this next team fight.
Yeah, you can't really hit much harder than when you have an EFG. Most of them are either full build or getting there, so a lot of damage going to be coming out from Harbingers. The question is, can Dropkick handle that damage? The Oni Fury certainly could not. It fell quickly. Curious to see, though, where the Harbingers are going to group. All of Dropkick is currently in the jungle in the left side, so it's probably going to be a left side push from the Harbingers. They are going to be spotted in mid, too, so yeah, might see a commit to the left lane here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it just start sweeping the towers. They do already have a wave nearby in the left lane, so an understandable place to start pushing. But the team fights look to be going in the Dropkick King's favor pre-Fire Giant. I wonder if these FG buffs will be enough to turn the tides of the fights into the Harbinger side, or if the Dropkick Kings will continue to be able to run these team fights. It looks like they might be going for a Phoenix here, maybe. Or
Yeah, I'm
just,
kind of surprised they're not going for the tier 2. Like, I'm sure you were about to say, like, I guess they're not, but it did look for a second like they were going to full send it for that Phoenix.
yeah, it looks like just trying to get some ward coverage, which is definitely understandable. The worst thing that can happen to you when you have the EFG buff is you die because you got caught out in the jungle, just out of position. It's really the worst feeling because it was an easily preventable death, but it still loses you your Fire Giant buff.
Yeah, it's always a tough turn of events to lose that, especially when you fight so hard for it. But going forward, I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to defend this Phoenix, because Dropkick is really spread out. But Harbingers did not full commit. Toetaker going into the backline, seeing who he can find. Here comes the Earthshaker, only finds Gear Chief, but does quite a bit of damage. But Gear Chief doesn't have Fire Giant, so the heals are lacking right now. Enough for Gear Chief to fall to Neptune. Big blink, fear no evil though, by Akamaru, does tons of damage. Dropkick might have to fall back. The waves though didn't really get anybody except for Toetaker's ultimate. Wow, Dropkick gets to survive that. I thought for sure that blink ult from Akamaru would be enough, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not all that surprised. I mean, yes, they do have EFG on the side of the Harbingers, but the gold lead is about normal, or about 4K, and before they started pushing, it was about even, so didn't really have a chance to go back and spend that gold they got from sweeping the towers. So the builds are pretty much even outside of the Emperor's armor onto flippin' ninjas. So the only real advantage they had was an EFG buff on 3, and now that that's fallen off, I'm really curious to see how this next EFG fight will go. No Phoenix is down. I feel like Dropkick Kings can definitely stand to defend this.
I'm kind of surprised this game has gone as long as it has. I mean, it's been a very passive game, yes, but there's definitely been moments here where both teams had their chance to really take control and run away with it. But at the end of all things, I mean, the tower advantage is Harbingers, slight gold advantage, kill advantage is Dropkick, experience probably close to even, maybe a bit going the way of Dropkick Kings, mostly on the heels of the jungle for a while there, but everything's so even. It's borderline shocking.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, a 3k gold lead isn't really that much, you know.
Not at all.
That's a power pod on each player and then some wards. So not really anything worth mentioning as the EFG is coming back up.
This could be the fight that really makes the difference in the game. Whichever team can secure the kills and secure the EFG might end it, might not even need the EFG. Here comes commitment though, and Toetaker was getting blown up by crits, but not as badly as Akamaru got blown up. Neptune finds a kill on the flippin' ninjas. He's waiting with the I'm a monster! Insane I'm a monster there! Double kill for Neptune, but big kill from Shawn, not big enough though. Did a lot of damage, might be enough to stall things though. Gear Chief gets a kill onto Pest. He's going to get everybody on a chase here. That I'm a monster might have been enough to delay what could be a game here. They're going to have enough time with this deicide to do the EFG, but they can only get the EFG and start taking towers. They cannot end off of this. And that came from great play from Harbingers despite taking the L in that fight.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you can do. If a team fight is lost, just having to sit there and say, all right, well, it's unfortunate, but if I can trade my life out for a couple other players, then that's the sacrifice you have to make to keep your team in the game. If you can trade your life out for the enemy carry or the enemy team's objective secure, then sometimes that's what you're gonna have to do. And just good job by the Harbingers to realize just what they needed to do to keep this game alive.
Spoken like a true support player. But with that, everybody's starting to come alive from Harbingers, and the only thing picked up so far has been some camps and one tier 2 tower. So yeah, the sacrifice, like you said, it was so worth it from Harbingers. They might even be able to set up to start defend. You can aggressively defend. You're up so early here. The Gold Fury definitely not worth contesting at this point, but you can try to lightly defend the tier 2, set up for very strong Phoenix defenses. Things are not lost for Harbingers despite a very one-sided fight.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I would be stepping up to defend this tier 2, but it looks like Gear Chief's up and looking to brawl.
Might have caught out Pest, but with Neptune there, not fully worth a commit from Gear Chief. Probably a good call. But yeah, I think a light defense at best at tier 2. Maybe have Scylla walk up with Yamoja. See if you can get some damage from a very safe crush with a Sentinel pre-placed. And nothing aggressive to see if you can maybe get some poke out. Because not everybody has EFG on the side of Dropkick. So you can definitely get away with some poke that could be very effective. Not a major healer either. So gotta play it safe, but they're just gonna look to clear things up and fall back for a Phoenix defense. Tier 2 will not be contested.
Oh, that tier 2 melted like butter. I liked what you said about just soft defense, you know, just trying to burn some time, burn some HP, but they're under the Phoenix. CACTUSARMS is in there.
Backing up though, Gear Chief was able to draw enough attention to himself over by the wall. They couldn't full commit. Full committing now though. Phantom Shell comes out, might have been enough to get ZTan out of there. Dodgy ultimate did hit. ZTan pulled back in, but he's pretty safe. Fear No Evil comes out, does a lot. Everybody's still alive. ZTan pumping out numbers, but getting a lot returned onto himself, has to fall back. This Phoenix is gonna have a hard time being defended now. Sean goes up and I'm a monster, finds a kill on a cactus, but LDG is unstoppable and kills Sean. Gear Chief though shuts down any ideas from this Dodgy going further. And we're trading 1-for-1s, but currently it's a 1-for-2 in favor of Harbingers, who are on the defense. Now they're pushing out Dropkick Kings.
Yeah, unfortunately you give up 2 members here, but that is the most important Phoenix to take down in the game. It is such a distance to have to travel from the dual lane Phoenix to push out those minion waves to the Fire Giant. If that Phoenix is still down around the time the Fire Giant comes back up, which it looks like it might be, that is going to be a major thorn in the side of the Harbingers to try and not only make sure that that Phoenix comes up, but also fight the 4v5 and contest this EFG. So, although losing 2 on the side of Dropkick Kings, you can't be upset with the fact that you got the best Phoenix in the game.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of times we see teams make that, not really a mistake, but they push out and they push out and they push out trying to take the dual lane Phoenix, and they do it without fire because you're trying to set up for fire. They end up not being able to get it, and then after fire, they run and they take solo Phoenix, and if games go long like this, they find themselves in the trap of the Phoenix they took not being the most valuable Phoenix. So like you said, getting that dual lane Phoenix is a huge victory for Dropkick Kings. You cannot understate enough how important it might be, because somebody has to commit to defending, otherwise your Titan starts to fall, and with an X-Ball, a Vulcan, even a Lancelot and a Dodgy, you cannot afford to lose any health for free on your Titan.
Yeah, most definitely. And as late in the game as it is, if it won't take long at all for the Titan to buckle under the weight of a 5-stack running at it. So I'm really hoping for the Harbinger's sake that they're able to find a way to defend. It'll probably be through Gear Chief having that teleport be available, but he did just use it, and it looks like the Fire Giant will be up soon, so that won't be available for when he needs to go and defend the Phoenix. Yeah, that Fire Giant sparkling, it's ready to come up.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks, but I think you had to walk back to the Fire Giant here instead of teleporting to it. Just, that's such a useful tool, and to have it gone right when you need it.
This Fire Giant, we said it before, but this one could be a huge difference maker. Harbingers they got to play this perfect, essentially. They are not in a good spot to defend the fire minions and left. Everybody's here, so if they're gonna full commit to defending this EFG, then they got to do it now. They aren't, but Cactus sniffed out that Akamaru was backing. Aggressed in early, Earthshaker. Oh, goodbye, Sean! Hardly knew ya! Absolutely deleted, but big four-man Fear No Evil could be enough for Akamaru to get out of there. Dropkick King just got caught. All 5 members are together. ZTan absolutely deletes LDG in response. That's a 1-for-1 so far. Dropkick goes in the offensive. Fire minions are pushing into the Titan. Harbingers has to fall back, but that fight did not go as disastrous as Dropkick Kings might have hoped after a nice play by Akamaru after Sean was one-shot.
I really feel like Dropkick Kings almost overextended a little bit.
Oh, no.
Scratch that!
Yeah, Flippin' Ninjas might have been the one who overextended there. Now Dropkick finds Gear Chief. But is he just stalling a bit here? Sean's got down to 20 seconds on his respawn timer. EFG is about to get pulled. It's going to be a 4-man pull for it. Gear Chief gets through CACTUSARMS, though, so he is around to contest this fire. Fire Giant down to half. Gear Chief still here, completely healthy. Gonna go for the steal. Dropkick King secures the Fire Giant. Gear Chief down to half. This could spell the end for Harbingers.
I was really wishing that the Dropkick Kings would just go back and take the EFG. Multiple times, they almost overextended trying to pick up a kill, and when the EFG probably wouldn't have been contested if they just turned around and burnt down the objective. They had taken down PFShawn, who is the big threat for stealing something like an EFG with the I'm a Monster ultimate. So once Sean was out of the fight, I think that was your green light to go ahead and just take out the Fire Giant. Unfortunately, they did lose it on LDGFish. He wasn't up at the time the objective fell, but that dual lane Phoenix is weak, and Fire Giant on 4 is nothing to scoff at, especially if Gear Chief gets caught out here.
Gear Chief has to get back. Quick dodge. The ultimate comes out for the secure, but Gear Chief uses his ult. That's a big ultimate gone on both sides. If I'm Harbingers, I push out. I don't even care about this Phoenix. I go for kills. You're in a decent spot to do it. Gear Chief back, though, for health. Here comes the full commit from Dropkick. Phoenix already fell. ZTan lighten up CACTUSARMS. Had to use beads, though, to get out of there. Here comes the re-engage from Harbingers. Gear Chief leading the way. Cactus already down the half. Support is low, getting blown up by ZTan. And some good damage. Sean finds even better damage. ZTan getting aggressive up by Toe Taker in the back. In the front, though, Gear Chief is still on Cactus. I'm a Monster's good on Neptune. I'm a Monster hits on Pest and drops in the half. The dash in from Sean. It's a triple kill after the gorgeous Sikkim. Sean just absolutely brought this game back for Harbingers.
This could be game. That's 5. There's almost.
Oh no! Akamaru
LDG
got
just sitting
Wow.
in that fog. What a play! As I was about to say, this could be game, but that opens this up to so much more room for LDG and Toe Taker to try and dive the backline now and make an attempt to save this Phoenix.
They have to kill ZTan and Sean. That's where the damage is. On the flip side, though, they're quite squishy. Doing a good job at first, but the waves come out and they've completely saved Sean. I'm a Monster up, but who's he gonna find? Daji's up in the sky. He's looking for anybody. Doesn't find quite the damage he needs. Toe Taker still alive. Crush comes out. Flippin' Ninjas gets the kill. It's a support KS here. At the end, Gear Chief gets LDG. It's a deicide for Harbingers. They're going to run at the Titan, and they're going to kill the Titan on the back of PFShawn. An amazing still plays. Harbingers has come all the way back. Didn't lose. They win game number 1.
What an absolute slugfest. Almost 50 minutes of pure, just nail-biting action. You really can't count out a still late game. She just absolutely tore through the Dropkick Kings. It was almost reminiscent of MLC Stealth at the first ever Worlds, just tearing through. Oh my goodness. PFShawn saved the game on the re-engage. Just what a play.
Crazy play there. But you know what's crazy? With how that last fight went, we really didn't even get to talk about ZTan. That entire game was just pumping out damage. I talked about in the picks and bans, Akamaru has been the damage dealer, really, for Harbingers. But this game, Akamaru kind of took a back seat, and really it was ZTan for damage and the great play by Sean at the end. There were some signs of life, especially at the end there for Dropkick, even in the very last second when they did get the pickup kill onto Akamaru. But ultimately, after a 50-minute, like you said, slugfest, it was not enough for Dropkick Kings. They could not hold on. Harbingers got it and ran it down. So with that, we're going to leave you at game 1 and meet you in picks and bans for game 2. And we have a lot to talk about when we get there. Hello and welcome back to the Smite Draft League. If you are still calming down from game number 1, I cannot blame you, but here we are, picks and bans, game number 2. I am Anthony Malum, he is Joywolffe, and let's start talking.
Yeah, what a game 1 was. I'm really curious to see how these two teams are going to be able to follow up after that, especially the Dropkick Kings. Losing a close game like that can almost destroy certain people's mentals. It's so tough to come back from when you played so well for so long and then to watch it crumble before you. It's just one team fight can win or lose the game when you're 40, 50, 60 minutes into a game, and just having it all fall before you is so brutal. So I'm wondering to see if they will be able to rebound and come back, or if it's going to be another game for the Harbingers.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. I am curious though, because we've seen a lot of. I in particular, I've casted a lot of Harbingers games. I've seen a lot of PFShawn and a lot of Harbingers. If I'm Dropkick Kings, I'm banning Scylla, because the reality is Sean hits all his abilities. There can be questions around objective secure. There can be questions around build paths and things like that. But when it comes down to it, he hits his abilities. He does a lot of damage. So if you take that away, at least make him pick something different and mix it up. I think you're in a decent spot. See what else is in the god pool. Maybe he's less effective, but I don't know. They didn't ban it in the first 3, which I can't blame them. But if there's no mid picked and you get into those 4th and 5th bans, I think that Scylla's got to go.
I definitely agree. I think it's hard to ban out a Scylla with your first 3 picks when there are so many strong gods. Like letting through a Vulcan or a Yu Huang or a Baba Yaga, any of those strong picks, letting that through, and you banned a Scylla?
Definitely.
I would have to scratch my head a little bit, but target banning is a valid strategy, and if somebody has consistently been performing on a god, I can't blame you if you take it away, especially after what we saw in that last team fight from PFShawn on the Scylla.
We do see a Khepri gets switched to an X-Ball, so ZTan taking away the Shibalanke from Neptune. If you don't want to ban it, you got to pick it. If you don't want them to play, that's kind of how it goes. Khepri picked second, so a very confident plan there from Harbingers for that dual lane.
And as it goes, somebody picks a Khepri, the enemy team picks an execute to counter the Khepri.
Yep.
Just textbook counterplay. That's the problem with picking the Khepri this early, that it is very likely that you'll have to be playing into an execute. I mean, it's so unlikely that people are going to be banning out the likes of Thanatos and Ao Kuang.
Yeah.
So it always has to be in your mind. But what are the odds that you don't pick your support in the top round and Khepri doesn't get banned out in the second phase of bannings? It's slim to none.
Yeah, I am curious because we do see while they are good characters at the moment and they've seen a lot of play, we saw a theme in the bans from Harbingers with the Daji, the Sasano, and the Thor. They do not want an assassin that can lock you down. Picking the Robin takes that away as well. We do see 2 warriors out. One of those is definitely the jungle. I imagine it'd be the Kakolin. I feel like Achilles is a little more suited to solo lane in this scenario. You want him tankier so his job can kind of be staying in that front line and eliminating anybody who gets a Khepri ultimate. But I'm curious to see if that assassin banning strategy was geared towards something, if they're trying to protect something. I mean, the Raven, the X-Ball, they've got good escapes and good ways out. So are they setting up for something, or do they really just not want to see those 3 particular assassins here?
I feel like the Kakulin jungle would be really difficult to pull off, managing your rage and whatnot as you're clearing camps. I'm willing to bet this Achilles is going into the jungle. Plus, it'd be easier to have an effect and follow around this Khepri almost. You know, obviously,
that's fair.
Not entirely what you want to be doing, but being able to match the Khepri and make that Scarab's Blessing irrelevant with your Fatal Strike execute, rather, could be an effective strategy. I don't know. I would love to see a Kakulin jungle. It's off the wall. It's wacky. I'm for it.
Yeah, it's rare. It's something, that can be pulled out from time to time. It's so tough because you try to make those, not necessarily predictions, but you try to get an idea of where the game's going, but it's so hard. A lot of these teams, more so Premier than Challenger, but a lot of these teams take unique approaches. So even if it goes the Achilles, I'm dropping my whole thought because I haven't seen an Agni in a hot minute.
You know, I thought the puns were my thing, but all right, it was pretty good. I'll give it to you. That was a good one. Agni though, I really like Agni. He has a lot that he can offer. You know, decent objective secure with the bombs. You know, just able to rain those fiery meatballs down from the sky. But what's your take on this Hachi?
You know, Hachiman, it's weird. He's kind of fallen off. A lot of times when Rama is really strong in the meta, we also see Hachiman strong in the meta. They famously have kind of always, since Hachiman's come out, they've kind of been hand in hand together alongside the meta because they feel really similar. But for whatever reason, at the moment, Rama is like one of the greatest ADCs you can possibly pick, and Hachiman just does not feel great. It might come. He's safe to play, which could be what they went here because the Kurnos was banned out, so and the Cupid as well. So maybe they wanted something safer, but I don't know. It's kind of into a Shibalanke in the current meta. I think we could see a tough time for the Hachiman.
Interesting. And a Sylvanas coming out, another procer of the Fabulous Hoops. Just so strong currently.
Here I thought I wasn't casting with Kingfisher, but with the Chalk pick coming out, that is everything for this picks and bans of game number 2. Let's waste no time. We will meet you in game number 2. Getting into game number 2, there's a lot to remember from game number 1. Dropkick Kings had every opportunity they could have possibly had to win the game, but Harbingers had the best opportunity on the heels of an amazing Sikkim from PFShawn. Will game number 2 go the same way? Will it be different? I'm Anthony Malum. He's Joywolffe. Let's do it. Let's find out.
I'm just hoping that these teams decide not to go to 50 minutes this time. An absolute crazy game 1. I'm excited to see what these teams are bringing. We've got CACTUSARMS on his signature Cactus Sylvanas skin. We've got an Achilles jungle. We've got a Chalk. I'm so excited. Let's do it.
There's a lot that could go on here. I'm anticipating this Hachiman having a tough time in this dual lane. This is a tough matchup from my personal experiences. Hachiman does not really feel great into a Shibalanke. It kind of feels like he can stay away from everything you do. So I'm curious if Neptune is playing this Hachiman for the advantages of having a very safe ADC. With that being said, a lot of pressure comes out on the first wave from Dropkick, but they could not get the pull on the flippin' ninjas, so that aggression might not turn into much on this first wave.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm curious to see what flippin' ninjas leveled. I imagine it's the there it is, the abduct, and CACTUSARMS taking a lot of pokes.
It's getting dangerous quickly for that cactus boy.
Yeah, Sylvanas not one of the more mobile gods, rather slow compared to the others, so definitely think he might be getting abducted a few more times before this laning phase ends.
Not enough for a kill yet, though. This duo lane has been action-packed, but not quite enough for a kill.
These supports are just going to be looking to punish every little misstep the entire laning phase, and I am here for it.
Yeah, laning phases for duo are so hit or miss. They're either so passive, like we saw last game, and a lot of times they're really bloodthirsty, like this one. I mean, there was nothing worth looking at on the rest of the map. There was almost a kill in solo, but it wasn't even close compared to what we saw in duo. Here maybe comes a kill in duo. Big pluck back, but the shell was enough. Neptune falling low though. ZTan's here looking for the first blood. Gotta land the basics. Hits them. First blood for Harbingers.
And that was absolutely perfect. You love to see it. ZTan hitting all of the autos. Flippin' ninjas setting up just a perfectly choreographed dual lane kill, and that's going to springboard the Harbingers dual lane so much. Getting first blood in the duo allows you to get such a lead. Look at purple buffs, look at the scepter. The world is your oyster.
And ZTan makes it too. Takes out CACTUSARMS before his ADC could get back there in time. Flip to the solo, though, and Dropkick has their first kill on the backs of the jungle Achilles.
You know, I'm curious to see how LDGFish was doing a massive amount last game on the Dashi, absolutely deleting people. I'm curious to see if he'll have a similar impact on this Achilles. I would have to imagine very different play styles given how the gods kits function and whatnot. So I'm curious to see if he'll have a similar impact on the Achilles as he did in game 1 on the Dashi.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably the big make or break thing here for Dropkick, because they really got to rely on that jungle to set up for them early. Their early game is not out of this world, so they really got to hope that LDG can make its rounds, make some great rotations, and make plays happen for Dropkick.
Yeah, I mean, solo laners are doing solo lane things, exchanging ultimates, poking each other out, but
not quite enough yet.
Not a lot yet.
That's always such a tough thing to gauge. Solo could go from full health tickling to 1 HP brawling at any given second.
And again, if LDGFish is able to make that rotation, you know, obviously not saying he should be there right now, but maybe he'll be able to have an impact in that fight, secure that kill. Especially with that execute being so effective at taking out tanks. It always seems like that last little bit of HP takes so much more damage than the rest of the health bar. But an execute, that's not an issue. That little last bit of health goes bye-bye real quick.
Yeah, I think that execute could be probably the most important thing. I mean, I said it before with LGG being the difference maker, but that execute in the late game team fights, he's got to be Johnny on the spot with it if he wants to make a difference on it, because I suspect that flippin' ninja's Khepri ultimate is going to be a quite literal life or death thing for Harbingers. Blue buff invade coming out from Harbingers. ToeTaker taking a lot of damage very quickly. Even the support is here for this invade. ToeTaker's falling solo, still alive though. No kills yet. Evades the first axe, but can't evade the big axe. Here comes Earthshaker though. Who can it clean up? Nobody's home. CACTUSARMS ultimate comes out onto 3. Pull on the flippin' ninjas. He's gonna go the other way though. The pull might have actually helped Shawn and Akamaru get away. Flippin' ninja's still alive though. He's gonna get out. Call it the great escape for flippin' ninjas on the Khepri.
And, you know, as we said, CACTUSARMS not playing the most mobile god. Khepri isn't a god you think of mobility either, but that one little dash is sometimes all it takes. If you're able to get your lane and avoid plucking somebody, you can be able to escape. So that time, that little bit of mobility that Khepri has, just able to help him get out, was all he needed.
Yeah, you know, Khepri, I think you described it perfect. Khepri has a weird feeling when he feels completely different when you're playing him versus when you're against him. When you're against him, sometimes it feels like he's so slippery, even when he's not using the lobster skin. And other times when you're playing as him, it feels like he's this gigantic cardboard box that has no clean movement. Oh, gank in the duo lane. Flippin' Ninjas trying to prove my point. Could not find anything onto NeptuneSpartan aside from the ult and the purification beads, which could be big going forward in this lane for ZTan, depending on how he wants to utilize that advantage.
And it looks like these teams are grouping. CACTUSARMS just kind of left to die there.
Yeah, LDG
Fish
blinked away.
got the heck out of Dodge. And poor CACTUSARMS, man.
Not a lot he could do. It makes a killing spree for ZTan, so good for them.
Yeah, you knew Cactus wasn't getting out of there. LDGFish had to just leave the homie to die, but NeptuneSpartan might fall in response.
He was away from the root, and that probably was enough to keep him safe there. If that root hit, I think the death might have followed. Alive for now, but clearly the pressure is being put on all the lanes right now by Harbingers with the earlier mana invade and now this duo gank.
Yeah, the Harbingers are just looking to... They must have heard me. They're bringing this game early. They're bringing the aggression, and so far it is working out for them. About 1,000 gold up at 8 minutes. A lot different than last game, I would say.
Yeah, this game has a very different feel. The kills don't entirely back that up, but the feel of the game, which I always talk about the feel, it feels quicker paced. It feels like there's a different type of plan from both sides, a lot more aggression. Yeah, much improved pace in my mind.
I was gonna say, the leads are, probably about similar as they were in last game, but it just feels so different. And I mean, being a player and being under that duress as team fight and right, hello.
Chalk ultimate came out for the silence. 3 members of Harbingers are here. Silence is worn off, but can they get away? Shivalanka ultimate comes out for the assist, but everybody got away on Dropkick. They're in the safety of the tower now. Really just going to turn into a totem for Harbingers. Maybe more prepared for the 18-man gank and solo lane this time was Dropkick, and they get away safely.
It looked like CACTUSARMS had a good route. Hard to tell with that when the lights are shut off, but LDGFish caught out a little bit here. Is he going to be able to get himself out?
Really committing to this aggression. Earthshaker follow-up finds Akamaru, but Gear Chief finds LDG. Now Gear Chief, the one falling low. Now the 3v2 advantage goes the way of Dropkick. They're going to pull back, though, and look, they're going to go for the blue invade, try to get some worth out of following LDG that deep in. I can't really tell if they got it. Toe Taker, though, might be the one who gets got. He is. PFShawn gets the kill on that Agni. When was the last time you were able to say that?
Yeah, and I like this strategy from the Harbingers. I have to imagine that looking at it, a Vulcan versus an Agni, a Ravana versus an Achilles, I have to imagine that the Dropkick Kings should be able to take this game late and feel pretty comfortable. So I'm imagining that Harbingers want to bring this game down as early as possible, and they're definitely working towards that, as just a few minutes ago, 1,000 gold, now over 2,000. So they are definitely making strides in the right direction to end this game much earlier than game 1.
I think you said it perfect. And I think going forward, what they need for both sides to be able to do that is Dropkick Kings really needs Harbinger's aggression to almost be to a fault, and Harbingers needs that aggression to function. They need to start getting more kills off this aggression, because finding a couple kills early is great, but if you're committing to 3-man, 4-man ganks, if you're not finding those kills, you'll quickly find yourself falling behind in farm. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the jungle right now. I mean, there is a 2-kill advantage going for that Achilles, but it's a 2-level advantage. Shawn runs into Toe Taker, not Toe Tanker. That'd be quite the name too. By the mid Harpies and is falling quickly. Khepri is here though for the backup. Brought CACTUSARMS with him, and now Dropkick finds themselves on the back burner trying to get away. LDG is on Akamaru though, execute range as well, but can't quite commit to it. There's the execute to get out of the chalk silence, so that won't be available going forward in this fight. ZTan has rotated all the way over, and Hachiman is still back by Phoenix, and Cactus is going to fall to ZTan, make it 4 for the Xbalanque, now level 12, and Hachiman was kind of just caught out just backing. Great rotation there.
Yeah, and if the Harbingers just continue to keep up this aggression, I feel like they're going to be able to take this game. CACTUSARMS, unfortunately, isn't going to be worth the most amount of gold, given that he is the support, you know, only level 7, 03, and 2, but he's worth a little bit, so a nice little pickup. And the real story is being able to pick up this Pyromancer, as Toe Taker getting poked out here. Looks like nothing gonna come of it.
It was close, though. It looked like there might have been some second guessing on how far they want to commit for the kill on Toe Taker and how much it would have really taken, and you're gonna ultimately think better of it.
Yeah, understandable. It's so hard to kill these solo laners at this point in the game. I mean, looking at their builds, so much physical protection. You almost have to bring your mid laner over just to secure that, but as
Wow.
ZTan getting poked out.
Big damage coming out from Neptune. Going to go in the ultimate for the chase, but the ultimate does not hit on ZTan. Cactus looking to clean it up, though. Can he do it? There's the root. Going to look for the pull around the wall, but ZTan is just moving too quickly, and the ultimate makes the escape. Nice, clean, and pretty. ZTan is safe.
Yeah, and as ZTan, I've said this before, but when you're kill streaking like this, when you have such a big advantage, your biggest objective is to not die. As oh my goodness, Akamaru got chunked.
Akamaru got chunked indeed, but not quite enough for the kill. Becoming a bit of a theme here for Dropkick. Cactus, though, will find plenty of damage onto himself. PFShawn gets the kill onto that Agni. Make it dos for the Agni. Good showing so far. Level 13, keeping up in kills, keeping up in everything. And things are slowly but surely getting tougher and tougher for Dropkick.
Yeah, for sure. If the game keeps treading towards the Harbinger, they'll be able to start looking at more of these bigger objectives and start just running away with this game. That's exactly what you want to do if you're looking to snowball the early game. Just start with these objectives as early as possible and just keep running them down, not giving anyone a chance to breathe.
And with that, we do see a pause coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and put my hand over Joywolffe's mouth, and we'll be right back on the Smite Draft League.
the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh.
Back from the pause, and my hand was not drastically licked, so all things are looking up here in this game number 2. So tell me, we're hitting 15 minutes. We haven't seen any incredible objective fights. Who do you think is going to be the first one to actually commit to objectives here? Are we going to see a commit? Actually, hold on to that thought. Pest had to use purification beads, and he's safe, so I think you're good to commit to answering my question. Just a couple kills and solo lane, no big deal. Toe Taker finds one on Nakamaru. Will be all for now, though.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to breathe again now that my mouth isn't covered, but I would like to see Harbingers start pushing for one of these objectives here soon. Maybe a Gold Fury, if we see Gear Chief maybe start to proxy and make his way over. Like I said, you gotta keep pushing this objective, because as we saw, Akamaru did fall, and with every little failed gank or, you know, solo kill, that just brings Harbinger more into this game.
Wow. That was not a failed gank. That is a rampage from ZTan, thanks to the help from PFShawn, and the completely caught out NeptuneSpartan has fallen.
Poor man just got absolutely deleted. Here today, gone tomorrow. Sheesh.
Now we see a root come out in mid, and a body block from Flippin' Ninja is going to follow into the block. Can PFShawn find the damage, though? Not quite yet. Still fairly healthy as Cactus. LDG is here as well, and that's level 14 to Akamaru's level 11, so gotta really back off and pick that fight carefully. Akamaru falling a bit behind in farm here. Very rare for him.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the gold charts. Just because golden hand rather.
Oh, and there is a root and a pluck on a Cactus. Ultimate, no good. Ultimate good from Sylvanas. What's gonna follow up here? Will they chase all the way to tier 2? Not quite. Earthshaker comes out on to the 2, but it's way wide left. Gets the kill anyway, Nakamaru. Flippin' might be safe too. Cactus, though, falling quick. Good damage from the hidden run by Shawn. Neptune does clean up the kill on the Flippin' Ninjas, and nobody killed Cactus in all that.
Man just tired of dying. Honestly, I get that, you know? You just don't want to be dying anymore. You decide, enough's enough. I'm not upgrading my relics. I'm getting more tank items. I refuse to die anymore. But, as I was saying earlier, the more fights that the Harbingers take before, you know, buckling down and deciding to get these objectives, just the more that the Dropkick Kings have a chance to get into this game. I mean, they're really just giving the Dropkick Kings more of an opportunity to get back into it. And as I say that, they're trying to pick up Gear Chief.
Will not find it, though, but 4 members just kind of hanging out by the Fire Giant. If there's one thing Dropkick Kings understand, it is the Pyromancer is important. they've committed time and time again. Harbingers, though, gets to steal. Akamaru walked around at the perfect time to get it. Now Cactus finds himself caught out. Does not get silenced. Toetaker goes in deep, though. Can probably kill Akamaru if he can get to him. Earthshaker, though, no good. Sean stands on the outside looking in. Here comes the Agni bombs, doing quite a bit of damage. Cactus falling quick, down to a quarter, down to 10. Mega gone. Akamaru gets a kill onto CACTUSARMS. Toetaker gonna fall away. LDG and Pest gotta get out of there. ZTan has made their rotation, once again out-rotating his ADC opponent. Gearchief has to go into the speed buff to go for the steal just to buy some time. PFShawn gets a kill on LDG. ZTan on the rotation gets the kill on the Pest, and everybody's here from Harbingers, and everybody's dying on Dropkick Kings.
You know, I kept saying how Harbingers need to get objectives, you know, take the foot off the gas pedal in the team fights, but hey, I mean, if you're winning the team fights, hard to argue with that. And what is the reward for winning that team fight? A fire giant on 5. So hard to argue with them there. Unless
Ooh,
no.
That was close. Confirmed, though, by Harbingers, and Toetaker, as we normally see, will pay the price for the attempted steal. PFShawn gets the stat pad, make it 4-0, and 19 minutes, these last 5 minutes have been all Harbingers this entire time.
Yeah, and we see the gold lead has now ballooned to about 7,000. They're really looking to just strangle out the rest of this game as we see that big dip down into the red in the golden XP charts, and it's only gonna keep going as they take the gold fury. And I have to imagine that towers are next on the menu. Back, spend that gold, and by the time all those towers are down, Harbingers are going to be looking at about a 10k gold lead, and that's so hard to come back from as any team. But the Dropkick Kings are really going to have their work cut out for them.
And you can see in solo, Gearchief level 17, Toetaker level 14, being that far behind and already having Harbingers like in a position that they can start making base plays. That's a tough spot to be in a solo.
Yeah, we talked about Akamaru really kind of sacrificing his own farm, but if you're getting everyone ahead on your team and you're behind in the jungle, you get a pass. You know, you may be behind, but if the rest of the team's ahead, that is perfectly acceptable as a jungler. You're just being selfless and setting everyone else up for success. That's definitely something where you'd want to be.
Toetaker has everybody in solo lane kind of just begging for help. CACTUSARMS is here, but really just here to get deleted. The root is good. The ult is good. ZTan all the way in solo gets the kill. He's unstoppable. They're going to get the tier 2 in solo. A tier 2 will fall in response in dual lane to the split push from Neptune, just trying to catch up and farm to ZTan, but there's not much a Dropkick can do here to defend. They kind of just have to sit back and defend at this point. That was a tier 1, excuse me, in dual lane.
Just looking at the differential and the ADC builds, not a full executioner, but the tier 3, or Deathbringer rather. The tier 3 for Deathbringer and a full starter item upgrade for ZTan is absolutely massive. Just a huge gold lead for him over NeptuneSpartan. And you know, a little bit of XP. You know, level 20 never hurt nobody, but level 19 isn't bad as well. But you really want to be hitting level 20 just to make sure you can get that starter item upgrade, as it is so huge.
Tier 2 push in duo. Trebuchet in solo. Neptune dead in duo. Sean's on a rampage. Things are looking rough for Dropkick here at 22 minutes. Things have kind of just gotten out of control for them at this point. They kind of got to reset the game plan here and look to just play base defense and farm when they can to get back caught up, as this is a tough spot to be in, especially being down 0-1 in the set. But to give Dropkick some credit and some chance here, we have seen Harbingers, probably their one fatal flaw as a team this season has been they have a tough time ending games. They can tend to kind of draw games out longer than they need to. So that does give Dropkick some time to get back into it, but it's a steep mountain to climb.
I was gonna say, Harbingers may give up some time, but Dropkick Kings will need a lot of time to be able to undergo the slow process of farming up while this far behind and just... Unless...
Earthshaker.
Oh, what a shell!
CACTUSARMS has a kill and a shutdown on PFShawn. Enjoy that shutdown gold, Mr. Support. You've earned it.
That just caught Cactus all the way back up with flippin' ninjas. It looks like they're about in similar spaces in their build, so similar gold, similar XP, sitting at the same level. Just that's really what CACTUSARM needed. Just been struggling all game, but a nice little drop in the bucket for him, getting that shutdown.
And now it's a tough task. Toetaker was making sure the Fire Giant was not getting set up, and much to his lack of surprise, it is. Fire Giant's about to spawn. Toetaker, though, might pay for peeking around. Taking quite a bit of damage. Does juke the Kepri block, but it's not going to matter anyway. Silence comes out. Gear Chief gets the kill on the Toetaker. And now it's going to be a 5-on-4 advantage for Harbingers as they set up for this Fire Giant.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Dropkick Kings, Toetaker isn't one of the highest level characters on their squad, only level 16 at this point. Neptune and PFShawn still available, but that Fire Giant is dropping quick.
Fire Giant went to half, but Harbingers dropped it. Might have thought that there was going to be a commit from Dropkick. LDG, though, has Sean pinned under the tower, gets the kill, execute out. Akimaru, though, with the blink. ZTan gets the KS after the root and gets the kill onto LDG, so we'll see if it was worth it in the end. Toetaker just respawned. Ult on the Gear Chief, though, might be worth it. Here comes the silence. CACTUSARMS going to be the one caught out after all. Akimaru gets the kill on him, and now we're up to a 3v4, and Harbingers are just running it down mid. They want this fight. Akimaru goes in on Toetaker, turns to Neptune, who drops so quick. He's going to fall. There's no way. Neptune gets out, or maybe there's the dash. Safe for now. Toetaker and Pest are left to defend, though, and 4 members are at their Phoenix. They have completely said, I don't care about the Fire Giant. 3-man knockup. Earthshaker follows. Does not get any kills, though. Not quite enough damage there for Pest. The Meatball does enough damage. Gear Chief falls to Pest News. And Dropkick Kings pushing out Harbingers. We talked about it. They have a tough time really committing to those ends, and they tried to, but it just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, again, we found them just chasing after kills when they had the Fire Giant oh so low. I have to imagine they could have been able to finish it off, and then that fight might have gone so much differently. As looks like PFShawn may have pressed the wrong button there, unfortunately popping his Aegis. He'll miss that for the next team fight, but it looks like the Fire Giant is up, and these teams are maybe looking to step up and fight here.
Fire Giant down to half. Execute from LDGFish, and the back is good onto Akimaru, but he fell low in response. ZTan hot on the chase, gets stunned out, but that won't stop him from being divine. Now the damage goes on to Cactus and Toetaker. ZTan dashes in. Sean looks for the kill, but ZTan gets a double, making a triple kill. How far can they take this? NeptuneSpartan caught out. There's the Earthshaker. Finds ZTan, but Flippin' Ninja steals the quadra kill away. It's always the support to stab you in the back. They'll turn their attentions to the Fire Giant.
I've been waiting for Flippin' Ninjas the entire game to get his kill.
Pest.
He wanted he saw Cactus get a kill. He wanted to match it. I've seen him dashing. He rolled out the Suns trying to get Pest to finish that off. Didn't quite get it. I'm so glad that Flippin' Ninjas got his kill as Harbingers pick up the Fire Giant. You know, let's get to, you know, Fire Giant, that's great and all, but support's getting killed. That's the important news here. As 4 with Fire Giant, unfortunately, Akimaru was not up for the Fire Giant to be taken down, so he will not have this buff, but there's 3 Phoenixes that are primed for sieging, and Harbingers are looking to bring it.
This is going to be a pretty simple siege. I can't really imagine too much would go wrong. Toe Taker has to back from the soul lane, not backing after all, just going to let the Phoenix fall. Kind of confused by what the Kakolin's doing over there. Teleporting, that's what it was. Teleports to the mid Phoenix. He's here now. Left Phoenix did fall. Middle Phoenix down to half. Toe Taker got blown up on landing. ZTan only falls to half from that Earthshaker. Meatball does more. He has to back up, but Sean can handle it. Don't worry. Gear Chief finds a kill onto Neptune. Cactus down low. Flippin' Ninjas gets a pull on the Toe Taker. LDG is here, but what can he do? Sean in execute range. 2 people were in execute range, but the body block was good from Gear Chief. The root was even better. Akimaru gets a kill on the CACTUSARMS. Toe Taker gets a return kill on the PFShawn, but how much will it matter? Toe Taker down to about a quarter in rage stance. The Achilles is here doing everything he can. Execute's gone, though, so Kepri ultimate is safe. ZTan finds a kill onto LDG. Toe Taker has to walk away, has to look for some kind of play to save this game. Titan down to half. ZTan, though, fully healthy. Gonna be enough to kill him. It's a double kill for ZTan, and that, with his godlike, the deicide, all the accolades to go alongside the set victory for Harbingers.
And what a game from the Harbingers. Just able to absolutely run with it. They established their lead early, and granted, didn't just choke the game out. And, you know, like I said, take the pressure to the objectives early, but they did manage to end up just running with what lead they had, and slowly but surely they were able to wrap up this game and take home the W in 2.
You know, we have not done much in the way of MVPs or accolades this season, but it's kind of hard, especially in games like this, when you split it between Sean and ZTan, who once again put Harbingers on their back and did so much damage. It's incredible that Akimaru could have a down game in jungle, only get 13k, and this game was so decidedly in their favor. This mid carry combo on the backs of the support and the solo, and when Akimaru was at his best, Harbingers is a dangerous team going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. This team was firing on all cylinders, and it really showed, you know, with everyone just having an impact, throwing their punches, and unfortunately for the Dropkick Kings, it was right on the chin. Every punch was landing flush tonight.
And yeah, I think you're right. They were knocked out. But with that and that bitter ending there for the Dropkick Kings, we're going to leave you here. Harbingers gets the victory of the set. I've been Anthony Malum. He was Joywolffe. We had NoobLet on production. We're the Smite Draft League. Join the Discord. Get signed up to play. Season 2 is just on the horizon. And be ready, because our playoffs are also soon. We'll see you next time in the Smite Draft League.